5 children, 3 sons, 2 daughters. Heirs to a family that controls a sovereign wealth fund worth over $1 trillion, owns a super yacht that costs $600 million, and is building a city in the desert projected to cost over $500 billion. And yet, there is not a single photograph of any of them. No social media profile, no school event footage, no charity appearance, no verified image of any kind has ever been released to the public. In an age where the British royal children are photographed walking to school and the Dubai royals post on Instagram, the 5 heirs of Mohammed bin Salman are the most invisible children of any major ruling family on earth. Watch until the end, because what you are about to discover is not a single reason for that invisibility. It is 4 overlapping systems of concealment that operate simultaneously to ensure the world never sees these children until their father decides. It is time. The family 5 names the world has never seen. Before we can understand why these children are hidden, we need to understand who they are, because even the basic facts of their existence are more guarded than the nuclear programs of most nations. Mohammed bin Salman married Princess Sarah bint Mashur Al Saud, his first cousin, in 2008. Unlike previous generations of Saudi princes who commonly maintained multiple wives, MBS has only one spouse, a detail that distinguishes him from the polygamous traditions of his predecessors and signals a deliberate modernization of his personal image. Together, they have 5 children, 3 sons and 2 daughters. The eldest son is Prince Salman bin Mohammed, named after his grandfather, King Salman, with a name that means safe in Arabic. Now, in his mid-teens, Prince Salman is the natural successor to his father's position and the person most likely to eventually inherit control over a family fortune estimated at over $1.4 trillion in combined House of Saud wealth. The second son, Prince Masha, shares his maternal grandfather's name, a name meaning famous, though the boy himself remains the opposite of famous in every measurable sense. The youngest son, Prince Abdulaziz, was born around April 2021 and carries the most politically significant name of all, the name of the kingdom's founder, King Abdulaziz ibn Saud, the man who unified the Arabian Peninsula and established the modern Saudi state. The 2 daughters, Princess Fada, named after MBS's mother, and Princess Noura, whose name means light, complete the family. 5 children, 5 names. 0 public images, 0 confirmed sightings, 0 digital footprints of any kind. The contrast with other royal families is stark and deliberate. The British monarchy publishes official portraits of its young royals, releases them for school photos, and allows controlled media access during family events. The royals of Dubai and Qatar maintain social media accounts that feature children at sporting events, graduations, and national celebrations. The Monaco royals appear regularly in European tabloids, but the Saudi crown prince's 5 children exist in a void, a deliberate, engineered, and enforced absence from public life that has no equivalent among the world's major ruling families. These children are believed to reside within the Al Yamama Palace complex in Riyadh, a compound spanning approximately 4 million square feet, with thousands of rooms, pools, cinemas, mosques, clinics, schools, and sports facilities. It is not a palace in the Western sense. It is a self-contained royal city, a world within a world where 5 children grow up surrounded by luxury valued in the billions, while remaining completely invisible to the 8 billion people outside its walls. Is the total invisibility of these royal children a justified act of protection, or is it a level of control that crosses the line from security into something more troubling? Share your analysis in the comments. The tradition centuries of silence before the first barrel of oil. The first force sustaining this invisibility is the oldest, and it predates the oil wealth, the sovereign wealth fund, and the modern Saudi state itself. The privacy traditions of the House of Saud are rooted in 3 interlocking systems: conservative Islamic values, tribal customs of the Arabian Peninsula, and the protocols of absolute monarchy. In Saudi culture, family privacy is not a preference. It is a matter of honor. The concept of higher modesty is deeply embedded in social expectations, particularly regarding women and children. Gender segregation in homes, schools, and public spaces shapes every aspect of how families present themselves to the outside world. For ordinary Saudi families, this means limited visibility. For the royal family, the custodians of Islam's two holiest sites, Mecca and Medina, it means near total concealment of the youngest generation. The House of Sword traces its political legitimacy to an 18th century pact between the Sword clan and the religious establishment, an alliance that bound political authority to religious orthodoxy in a way that continues to influence every aspect of royal presentation. Public exposure of unmarried royal women is viewed by traditionalist factions as a breach of religious propriety so severe that it could undermine the family's legitimacy as guardians of the faith. Royal princes are traditionally raised in private, educated behind compound walls, and introduced to public life only when they are ready to assume state duties, governorships, ministerial roles, or diplomatic assignments. The transition from invisible child to visible prince is not organic. It is staged, controlled, and timed to serve the monarchy's interests. MBS has not merely inherited these traditions, he has intensified them, layering modern security technology onto ancient customs to create a privacy apparatus that is unprecedented even by Saudi standards. Biometric access gates control entry to palace compounds. Armored vehicles transport family members through routes cleared by advanced security teams. Media blackout protocols ensure that no journalist, photographer, or citizen with a smartphone can capture an image of the children during the rare occasions when they move between secure locations. Even MBS's own mother, Princess Fahda, was reportedly kept out of direct contact with King Salman during a critical period between 2015 and 2018, illustrating that within the House of Saud, even senior family members can be isolated when political discretion demands it. If a queen mother can be secluded, the seclusion of 5 young children is not merely expected. It is inevitable. The threats, why visibility could be a death sentence. The second force is security, and it is not theoretical. Saudi Arabia sits at the center of one of the most politically volatile regions on earth. The kingdom is engaged in an ongoing war in Yemen that has cost tens of billions of dollars and generated intense international criticism. It faces a regional rivalry with Iran that operates through proxy conflicts across multiple countries. It confronts persistent threats from extremist organizations, remnants of Al-Qaeda and ISIS, that view the Saudi monarchy as a legitimate target. And it contends with internal royal factionalism, rival branches of the House of Saud, who were displaced when MBS consolidated power and who harbor grievances that have never been publicly resolved. MBS himself has acknowledged the danger. He has reportedly compared his own vulnerability to that of Anwar Sadat, the Egyptian president who was assassinated in 1981 while reviewing a military parade, killed by soldiers within his own armed forces. The comparison is not casual. It reflects an awareness that the greatest threats to powerful leaders often come not from external enemies, but from within their own security apparatus or political establishment. And if MBS considers himself a target, his children are exponentially more vulnerable because a child cannot defend itself, cannot assess threats, and cannot make the split-second decisions that security training is designed to enable. The precedent for targeting family members already exists within Saudi politics. The children of Saad al-Jabri, a former senior Saudi intelligence official who fled the kingdom, were detained and allegedly used as leverage to pressure their father into returning. The case demonstrated that within the Saudi power structure, children are not exempt from political coercion. They are instruments of it. Any public exposure of MBS's children, their faces, their habits, their school locations, their travel patterns would provide adversaries with intelligence that could be weaponized for kidnapping, assassination, or political blackmail. The children live within palace compounds that function as self-contained, secure environments, clinics, schools, sports facilities, entertainment centers, and places of worship, all contained within walls guarded by security teams whose budgets run into tens of millions of dollars annually. When the family travels, they move aboard aircraft from the Royal Fleet, a $1.5 billion collection of Boeing 747s and Dreamliners, equipped with missile defense systems and electronic countermeasures. The level of protection is comparable to what major nuclear powers provide their heads of state, but applied to 5 children whose names the world barely knows. When a crown prince compares himself to an assassinated president, Does the total concealment of his children become an act of survival rather than an act of control? Tell us your perspective below. The succession, why showing the heir too early could destroy the dynasty. The third force is political, and it may be the most strategically consequential of all. Because Saudi succession has never followed the linear father-to-son model that Western monarchies use. For decades, power passed horizontally from brother to brother among the sons of the kingdom's founder, King Abdulaziz, who had approximately 45 sons by multiple wives. This system of agnatic seniority worked as long as the founding generation was alive. But as that generation aged and died, the kingdom faced a succession crisis. Too many grandsons, too many competing branches, and no clear mechanism for selecting the next leader from among dozens of eligible candidates. MBS's rise to crown prince in 2017 was itself a break with tradition achieved by removing his cousin, Mohammed bin Nayef, from the succession line in a palace maneuver that consolidated power within King Salman's branch of the family and sidelined rival factions that had expected their own path to the throne. The displacement was followed by the infamous Ritz-Carlton detention of 2017, during which hundreds of princes and businessmen were confined to a luxury hotel in Riyadh and pressured to surrender assets in what MBS described as an anti-corruption campaign, an operation that reportedly extracted settlements totaling over $100 billion and eliminated the confiscation, financial independence of potential challengers. These moves secured MBS's position, but they also created enemies, displaced princes, humiliated businessmen, and sidelined factions who lost wealth, influence, and the succession paths they had spent decades cultivating. In this environment, the premature public elevation of Prince Salman, MBS's eldest son and presumptive heir, would be a strategic error of enormous magnitude. The Allegiance Council, the formal body that approves royal succession, has not endorsed any candidate beyond MBS. Introducing the teenager publicly as a future king would signal dynastic ambition that rival branches would interpret as a direct threat to whatever remaining influence they retain. It would give opponents a target, a personality to scrutinize, a public record to criticize, a face to associate with every grievance accumulated during MBS's consolidation of power. By keeping Prince Salman invisible during his formative years, MBS preserves maximum strategic flexibility. The boy can be educated, trained, and prepared without the scrutiny that accompanies public visibility. His personality, his speeches, his social interactions all remain unknown to potential rivals, denying them material for opposition. When Prince Salman eventually appears in public, it will be at a moment of MBS's choosing, in a context MBS controls, with a narrative MBS has crafted. That is not paranoia. That is succession planning at the level of absolute monarchy, and the stakes are the control of a kingdom whose combined royal wealth exceeds $1.4 trillion. The digital fortress, total invisibility in an age of total surveillance. The fourth force is the newest and perhaps the most paradoxical, because the same digital revolution that has connected Saudi Arabia to the global internet has created the conditions that make the royal children's concealment both more difficult and more necessary than at any point in the Four Kingdoms history. Smartphones with high-resolution cameras are ubiquitous. Social media platforms allow images to circulate globally within seconds of capture. Facial recognition technology can identify individuals from a single photograph and link them to locations, travel patterns, and social networks. Geotagging embeds location data in every image taken by a device with GPS capability. In this environment, a single accidental photograph of one of MBS's children, captured by a staff member, a visitor, or a passerby could compromise security protocols that have been constructed over years at a cost of millions. The response has been the enforcement of total digital invisibility. There are no confirmed social media accounts for any of the 5 children. No publicly verified photographs exist. No footage from school events, birthday celebrations, or family gatherings has ever surfaced a level of information control that would be remarkable for any public figure, and is extraordinary for the children of a man who controls assets worth over $1 trillion. MBS has backed national cyber safety initiatives designed to protect minors' online programs that reflect genuine concern about digital threats at the societal level, but also serve to normalize the concept of digital privacy as a protective measure rather than an instrument of authoritarian control. The wealth itself compounds the digital risk. The family controls the Public Investment Fund, a private jet fleet, the super yacht Serene valued at up to $600 million, the Chateau Louis XIV, purchased for $301 million, and the Salvator Mundi painting, acquired for $450 million. Children associated with assets of this magnitude are not merely high-value targets for political adversaries. They are high-value targets for every category of criminal enterprise, from organized kidnapping rings to opportunistic extortionists to intelligence agencies of hostile nations seeking leverage over the kingdom's leadership. The children grow up inside what amounts to miniature self-contained royal cities, environments designed to provide luxury, education, entertainment, and a semblance of normal childhood experience while maintaining an absolute barrier between the children's physical reality and the digital world that surrounds them. It is a childhood lived inside a bubble of extraordinary privilege and extraordinary isolation, protected from threats that most children will never face, but also denied the basic social visibility that most children take for granted. The future, when the wall finally opens, the total invisibility of MBS's children is not permanent. It is a phase, a carefully managed period of concealment that will end when the strategic calculus shifts in favor of controlled exposure. Gulf royal family tradition provides the template for how this transition will unfold. Sons appear first in official, staged contexts designed to project competence and continuity. Graduations from military academies, attendance at national celebrations, diplomatic missions alongside senior royals. Daughters typically emerge later after marriage or in roles tied to cultural and social modernization initiatives that align with the reformist agenda their father has championed through Vision 2030. The expectations for MBS's children follow predictable lines. Prince Salman, the eldest son, the namesake of the current king, the presumptive heir, will likely be introduced as the face of a new generation of Saudi leadership. His public debut will be engineered to signal continuity with MBS's modernization program, while reassuring conservative factions that the monarchy's religious and cultural foundations remain intact. He may be linked to Vision 2030 projects, Trojana, that define his father's ambition to transform Saudi Arabia from a petrostate into a diversified global economy. The princesses Farda and Nura may emerge in roles connected to women's empowerment, education, or cultural diplomacy, leveraging the expanded rights that Vision 2030 has granted Saudi women while navigating the conservative opposition that still views female public visibility as a breach of tradition. Until that transition begins, the wall remains. Four forces: tradition, security, succession politics, and digital age caution operates simultaneously to ensure that the 5 children of the most powerful man in the Middle East remain invisible to the world that their father is reshaping. Critics argue that the silence reflects authoritarian control rather than protective instinct, that a man who detained journalists, silenced dissidents, and confined rival princes to a luxury hotel is applying the same impulse for total control to his own family. There is no credible evidence of mistreatment or dysfunction behind the palace walls. But the absence of evidence is precisely the point. When information is controlled this completely, the truth becomes whatever the controller decides to reveal. And Mohammed bin Salman has decided, for now, to reveal nothing. When the world eventually meets these 5 children, the heirs to a kingdom sitting atop $1.4 trillion in combined wealth, custodians of Islam's holiest sites, and inheritors of the most ambitious economic transformation in modern history, it will be on their father's terms, at their father's timing, in a context their father has designed. That is not merely privacy. That is the architecture of dynastic power, and it operates with the same precision, the same scale, and the same refusal to compromise that defines everything Mohammed bin Salman builds. When Prince Salman eventually appears in public, will the world see a future king prepared by the most disciplined succession plan in modern history, or a young man shaped entirely by isolation and control? your analysis in the comments. The invisibility of Mohammed bin Salman's 5 children reveals 3 strategic truths about how power, wealth, and dynasty intersect in the modern world. First, the concealment demonstrates that for ruling families controlling sovereign wealth exceeding $1 trillion, privacy is not a personal preference, it is a security imperative. The same assets that define the family's power, the $600 million yacht, the $450 million painting, the $1.5 billion air fleet, the $500 billion city rising from the desert, make every family member a high-value target for adversaries, ranging from rival royal factions to international intelligence agencies to criminal enterprises. Second, the succession strategy reveals that in an absolute monarchy, the timing of an heir's public introduction is itself a weapon deployed only when the political environment has been sufficiently controlled to prevent rivals from using the heir's visibility as a point of attack. Third, the digital age dimension of this concealment illustrates a broader truth that applies far beyond Saudi Arabia. In a world where a single photograph can be analyzed by facial recognition systems, geolocated by metadata, and distributed to billions of people within minutes, the only reliable form of privacy is total absence from the digital record. 5 children, 3 sons and 2 daughters, heirs to a fortune measured in trillions, raised inside palace compounds that function as self-contained cities, protected by security systems that rival those of nuclear powers, invisible to a world of 8 billion people connected by the most powerful surveillance technology in human history, and hidden deliberately, systematically, and without exception until the man who controls the kingdom decides the world is ready to see what he has built behind the walls. If this kind of deep analysis into the hidden dynamics of the world's most powerful families is valuable to you, hit like and subscribe. In the next episode, we will take you inside the private security operations of the 5 richest families on Earth, protection systems so advanced that they operate as private intelligence agencies, answering to no government and no law.